My name is Chief Master Sergeant Dana Capaldi. I'm the Command Chief here at the 514th Air Mobility Wing, and I wanted to bring and talk to you about the hashtag Share Your Story. When my Public Affairs Office brought it to my attention, I wondered, what will this do? What is this? What does it bring? What can I bring? And I thought, everybody has a story. I have a story. And if I tell my story, maybe you'll tell your story, and we can start having open, honest dialogue on where we are as an Air Force and as a culture, and where do we go after we start talking. My first duty station, I was an excited airman, right? I had all this anticipation and excitement of what the Air Force was going to be and what I could bring to it. And I met with my NCOIC the first day. So he was a technical sergeant, and he sat me down and said, "Airman Bates, you have 2 strikes against you, and you haven't even started. You're an airman, and you're a female." Most aircraft had full-length centerfolds, right? Having explicit magazines, on the aircraft in a work center was common. And I think we are much better today than where we were then. So I was in Airman First Class the first time that a coworker cornered me on mid-shift by myself and decided to put his hands on me, and I did not say anything because I didn't want to be that girl. As I PCS to other bases, another incident, I was a technical sergeant and had an officer corner me against the wall and put his hands on me. And my reaction was freeze. It wasn't fight, it wasn't flee, it was freeze. What do you do? So you have to remember the culture back then, we didn't talk about these things. But what I found out a few weeks later, talking to another female in the building, was he had done the same thing to her, that we had been singled out. We both went and talked to the squadron commander, and nothing was done. And we both had to face this officer every day with him knowing that we went to the commander and that now everybody in the squadron, who was all men, except for us 2, knew that we had said something, and now they didn't want to talk to us or be around us. So it was very hard. In telling you this story, what I don't want you to take from it is I had a horrible career. I have an amazing career. And those moments, they don't define who I am, and they don't define my career. I define my career, just like you define your career. But not everybody bounces back through the experiences that I'm sharing with you, or your own experiences. And that doesn't mean you're less. It just means it's different. So what I would share with you is, when you're going through these issues or experiences, that you reach out. We have a lot of great resources, whether that be Military One Source or the chaplain's office, or so we're blessed to have a director of psychological health, but your friends and your wingmen, your supervisors, your first sergeants, we are all here to help you. I was lucky. I don't know what pushed me to muscle through it. There were times where I felt completely alone. So I was a single mom for a long time. There were times that I was not sure how I was going to feed my children. There were times that
I was asked to stay late. And if I didn't, right, I was not a team player. But yet the CDC was closing. So, what do you do? How am I going to, if I can't make it in the Air Force, where am I going to make it? How am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to clothe my children? So when I say I muscled through, that really oversimplifies it.
What I did do is I fought for myself as far as in my job and in professional development. I always made sure that I exceeded any standard that was put out there. I wanted to be the very best at everything because I wanted somebody, if I applied for something or I was up for a promotion, I wanted them to tell me no, not eliminate myself from the beginning.
So why share our stories? Why are we doing this? So in my humble opinion, one airman's opinion, the more we share our experiences, the more that we learn from each other. And my hope is that by doing that, we start leveling the playing field, that we're all looked at as airmen, here to do a job. It doesn't matter what gender, what color your skin is, what your sexual preference is. It doesn't matter. We're all here as airmen. So we need to start the conversation so we can learn from each other. I think we all have biases that we may not consciously know. And as you start having conversations with somebody that you wouldn't normally bring into your inner circle, and that's what I challenge you to do, is reach out and start talking to somebody that you wouldn't normally have that personal conversation with, getting down to the nitty-gritty, because we're never going to learn from each other and bust down these barriers until we start having honest communication, so we can then move forward and make it more of a equal playing field, that we are all the same, doing the job, having the same opportunities as everybody else. And so I hope that with this, you will share your story with somebody else and we get after it.